Oh, whoa. First time, hello, people. Welcome to OSNEP. We're going to react to some stuff that's been going on. How everybody been? Hope y'all been looking at the stuff we've been putting out there past couple day and a half. But
yeah, to think about
that. yeah. We've been trying to figure it out. Past 4 years or so, off and on. We have a little bit more free time than what we used to because we're old, apparently. So,
I feel it. I feel it.
Things breaking they shouldn't. But we about to go into this Katt Williams fandango. And Woody, you don't know much about Katt, do you?
He's a comedian. I know nothing else.
Yeah, he was, man. Everybody I knew loved Katt Williams. He was like the funniest guy. It was like between him and Dave Chappelle in like the mid 2000s. Like it was always between them as far as who was funniest. Dave Chappelle had the Chappelle Show, and Katt Williams had his like stand-up specials. And if y'all are trying to get an idea, this is when Rick Ross had that Hustlin', that Every Damn Hustlin' song came out. He did a whole skit, or Katt Williams did a whole joke around that song. Man, it was funny. But we end up reacting to that at some point. But let us know how you like these live reactions, man. We trying to figure it out. Everybody doing live streams, podcasts, and such, and we want to get into this since it's trending. And why not start out big? And if you didn't already see our previous things, we were like, yo, there's a lot of conspiracy stuff coming out too. So we about to hop in on it. And I already saw the interview, but this guy, he doesn't know anything. He's late. He's like an 80-year-old in a 30-year-old's body, man. He has no clue about like the happenings in the world. He just wants to live out on his land.
You didn't know about the Jew tunnels.
Hey, man. I just know there's a war. It was throttled. God. It was hidden from me. The reel was hidden from me. But we about to hop into this here. As you come in, we can chat. We'll see you talking and comment down below, like what videos you want us to do next and such, and everything else. But let's go straight into it.
Slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Club Shay. I am your host, Shannon Sharp. I'm also the proprietor of Club Shay, the guy that's stopping by for conversation and a drink today. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to love him. Some call him one of the greatest comedians, dead or alive. One of America's greatest entertainers, one of the funniest men on the planet, world-renowned, multi-talented, a comedy legend. He's the top touring comedian selling out arenas. He's a hilarious storyteller, Emmy award-winning actor, voice actor, rapper, writer, producer, director, icon, genius, a national treasure, philanthropist, humanitarian, social activist, a father, one of the great funny men of our generation and any generation, Mr. Katt Williams.
Thank you, sir.
How was that
magnificent. You are magnificent at intros, and you did not skimp on mine. I appreciate it.
Appreciate that. You know, anytime you come to Club Shay, we have to toast.
Yes,
bro, you've been doing it. I mean, you're one of the top one of the top touring comedians of all time. You already got started before we started taping.
I did.
Appreciate that. Tell the people at home.
I thought they was lying, and yeah. This particular alcohol is stronger than you think it would be, probably by about 2, and unbelievably smoother and milder by the same maybe 30% than you could possibly expect. And unlike cognacs the world over,
like
this one doesn't taste like wood at the end.
You're muted. You're muted.
Hey, man, we build it as we fly it. But nah, man, them chairs look like little melted Hershey bars with holes.
It's like a therapist couch. What's happening?
Man, I'm telling you, they're about to talk about some stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
Is stronger than you think it would be, probably by about 2, and unbelievably smoother and milder by the same maybe 30% than you could possibly expect. And unlike cognacs the world over, this one doesn't taste like wood at the end, and it doesn't taste like it's got artificial colors, and it doesn't taste like it's got artificial flavors. It's a fine product.
He's a connoisseur. You can tell he's a connoisseur. He's a cognac connoisseur. He understands the method that goes into making cognac.
Right. Well, as a comedian, you get free drinks at the club. So all comedians either turn out to be connoisseurs like myself,
right,
or straight up and down alcoholics like 60% of Hollywood.
Well, thanks for stopping by the club. I understand that you're very, very busy, and for you to take time out of your busy schedule and stop in today, we really, really appreciate it here at Club Shay. So thanks for stopping by, Katt.
And I needed you to know why I came by.
Yeah, I need you to tell us why.
People know I don't go everywhere. I'm not interested in talking to people unless it's like a Larry King or somebody of an amazing ilk that I would actually want to go talk to in real life.
Okay.
I don't do it so I can sell product, and I got things to sell, so let me come talk. You have a great
So, what do you think of Katt's current like demeanor as far as the video? 'Cause that's something people talk about.
I don't know. I think he's high.
You think he's high?
I
High on what?
don't know. It's just the alcohol part, man. He just kept going on about how good the alcohol is. I don't know.
He felt it was kind of off. Like he was kind of off.
He sounds like he's off. It sounds like he's about to trauma dump almost.
Oh no! Hey man, that's why they need the couches, the therapist couches. He about to tell all.
You're not wrong.
Let's get into it.
great product here. And as a fan base, we love the attention that you spend on the guest. We love how much work you've done, how well you know them, how prepared you are. The same things that we liked about you in football. You brought that on over to here, and that's why it resonates. And the reason I had to come is because you've made a safe place for the truth to be told. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate
and
that.
I have watched all of these lowbrow comedians come here and disrespect you in your face and tell you straight up lies. I'm talking about things that have never been heard in all of Black Hollywood. They feel comfortable sitting here and lying to you about it.
You gonna set the record straight?
Are you kidding me? You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all of America fumbled a bit when that happened. And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Katt Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike.
Wait.
And Katt Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now let's 3 quick points. You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is
I keep forgetting to unmute. Have you seen Friday After the Next? Like,
No,
do
not
you know what he's talking about?
No, I'm just Googling things as he's talking about them.
Yeah, you can open up a tab and also like bring up stuff that you find and see. So Ricky Smiley, he played Santa Claus for that, and that's a role that he's talking about. Katt Williams was supposed to play. That's Ricky Smiley there. There's a bunch of drama behind them. Ricky Smiley, he put out another interview. He didn't want the smoke, so he was like, "Yeah, you real great, Katt. You're a great person." But he was on Ricky Smiley's head top. A lot of people recognize Ricky Smiley before the beard, but yeah. And of course, let me look up another. And Katt Williams, since just because you didn't know, Friday After the Next, Katt Williams played a pimp on there, and he's going to go into that. Let me see. How do I change the windows on here? It says stop screen. Hold on a second. We building it as we fly it. So present. I can present multiple screens. Slides. No. I'd have to stop screen. Share screen. There we go. So Ricky Smiley. That's him in the movie. That's him. I think he was in he's in a lot of big movies, but he's not on Katt Williams level. And Katt Williams was supposed to play a pimp. Let me go scroll down. Katt Williams was supposed to play the pimp, and I'm gonna pop that up right quick. What happens here? And there we go. And that's where a lot of people definitely recognize Katt Williams was from this movie. He was that flamboyant pimp.
Yeah, I didn't recognize the guy without the hair.
Yeah, his hair was always been like that. But Katt Williams, man, he's hilarious. He's like still one of my top comedians that I like go back to and listen to regularly. Like between old Dave Chappelle stuff before he got canceled and all that. But let's go back to it. Oh, I can do a whole window. Let's do that.
Got no audio from your side.
Say what?
No audio.
From my side?
Yep, I got no audio in this video right now.
Dang, so you telling me. Okay, so apparently if you share the window, it doesn't do. Good to know. So you'd actually have to share the tab itself.
Oh, that's what you did.
Yeah, share the window instead of the tab, and it goofed. Let me know if you hear it.
No,
He shouldn't
Right, that's crazy. Good to know.
be able. You wouldn't let a athlete that been on steroids talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man, you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
he couldn't have played that role like you. I thought he was.
Sir, no one, why no? He was with KD. He beat up Terry Crews. Why nobody know this story? You talking about in Hollywood, they switched off roles. You take this and what?
So
Ricky Smiley knows this. And I don't know why he would lose a child and come on the air and start lying. That's why people believe in rituals right there. It's because, well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie. But I can tell you this. We auditioned in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I was audition number 201. 200 black comedians auditioned for the role of Money Mike with me. You're saying all 201 of us was auditioning and you had already had the role and had already shot the role in 4 days? The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got raped in the bathroom, and that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with. Katt Williams had to take the risk in front of the studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we're talking about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy,
right,
where I have all the credibility and all the pull. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy. And this comedy involves a rape. And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are. If you would allow me.
I ain't even in the phone. Nigga, you better, this ain't funny, nigga. I'll bitch slap your ass. Come on, I ain't playing.
Yeah.
You pee on me.
Wake your bitch ass up, Lucky Charms. I like my fish wet and squirming.
I thought I was dreaming.
You are.
You almost drowned me, nigga.
Oh, you dreaming. It's a wet dream.
Wait, wait a minute. I'm a pimp. You lost your mind. What the hell? Am I in prison? Hold on, Donna. Step down. Bishop.
Come on.
Tupac. Snoop.
Come on.
You got a line
Come on.
ball. You was just gonna take it, wasn't you? Huh? You thought I was play pimping, didn't you, huh?
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's
Terry.
yeah, old Terry. But that's this exact scene that he was talking about. And apparently he was supposed to have the duds done to him, but he ended up like running out of there or whatever. But yeah, it was a whole thing, and that's what he's talking about, just to put some relevance in there. All right, let me just go back, and I'll try to. Oh no, I have a habit of mute myself because I don't want to make any weird noises on you.
Don't worry, I got the counter.
Oh, thank you.
It's there.
Oh, it's gonna be that. That's not it. There you go. Think he was play pimping.
To allow us to do this movie without a black man getting raped in it, I promise you that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting raped. So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? 35 members of the cast and crew have never brought up that Ricky Smiley was gonna play Money Mike. No one ever saw me put on a Santa Claus suit. We got a wardrobe department. They made a Santa Claus suit for me. Why that wasn't in the bloopers? Why? And here's the other thing. Everything that Money Mike said, Katt Williams wrote. So what Ricky Smiley say on his? You can't say my lines, I wrote them. That's how I already know that I'm going to be funnier than you. What he told everybody was Katt Williams, don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Steven Said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter. He was so egregious, not now, then he was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Katt?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
So that's why, because when we released that clip and he said that, you responded because he said he was supposed to play Money Mike and you were supposed to play Santa Claus.
An outright lie.
So
that he knows is a lie.
So why would he say it?
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie. And that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the comedy.
Yeah, so what he's talking about, like before Katt got on there, Steve Harvey was on there. Well, he said Ricky Smiley was on there. Cedric the Entertainer was on here. And that's why Katt is talking about he's trying to clear the air because a lot of the stuff that those individuals came like on the podcast saying is complete like hogwash. It's like industry bullshit. So what do you think? You think Katt Williams is lying?
I don't think so, but I haven't seen the other. He probably has more receipts than anybody else, but I haven't seen the other interviews. So
yeah. Now, like Ricky Smiley, do you have an idea of who he is?
Not really, no.
Here. You've seen the
maybe a clout chaser so far. I already pulled him up though.
Yeah. He looks different.
That guy. He is in a dress.
Yeah. He looks different way back when, but like 20 years ago. But yeah, Ricky Smiley. No, I wasn't a big fan of him either. Just another guy.
Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask him, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't.
See, he ain't lying about the Steve Harvey hair. Because, like, back in the day, that, like, I kind of, like, figured now that shit was, like, unrealistic for, like, a lineup. Hold on. Let me try to... here. So, you see how crispy? You see how crispy that line is? But, yeah.
He doesn't look like a real person, not top picture.
That one?
Yeah, he doesn't look real.
It's probably retouched.
His teeth are too white. Hair is too black. It's too perfect.
Well, he probably got veneers too, as big as the business as he was in. But back in the day, as far as what he was saying, like him, who's that? Cedric the Entertainer. Just because you're mostly German. That's who Cedric is. He has smoke with him too. He look familiar?
Yeah, I've seen him before. Can't remember the last time though.
Yeah, it's been a while. He's been like really low key. He hasn't been out there besides, I guess, this podcast. But even then, it took Katt Williams to come on here to give it like this major traction. But I remember they had a big, and Katt's going to talk about it. They had a big event like Kings of Comedy where it was him, like Cedric and Bernie Mac, Steve Harvey, pretty much like the big hot names in the black comedian community, like all going in, and they're talking mad shit about Bernie, like behind his back and stuff. But he's going to go into it. Switch Switch back. There has to be a better way.
Talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt Williams in there.
I don't know, Katt. We might not let you drink anymore. The way you. I mean, we ain't even got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had a sip, less than you. The truth don't need motivation. I'm just saying I can't let these dudes lie. Cedric's sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star. What?
It's a situation.
He never wrote anything. Remember, when Cedric the Entertainer starts, he's supposed to be singing, dancing, and telling jokes. That's why he's called the Entertainer.
Right.
We found out he can't sing, can't dance, and doesn't write jokes. He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon, they're not available on Netflix or Tubi. Can I say that again for the audience? They're so bad that they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
You don't think Sam's a good comedian?
The world doesn't think that, sir. I have 12 comedy specials. He has 4 specials that are not available on Netflix or Tubi.
It seems to me, Katt, that you had a lot to get off your chest.
No.
You wanted to set the record straight.
Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. I don't say any of these things if my name is not breached by these people on your platform. If you give a liar a platform to lie, then I'm not being messy by saying, hold on, that never happened, it's untrue, and there are hundreds of witnesses for each thing I'm saying.
So let me ask you this. What is your relationship with Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, and Cedric the Entertainer as you sit here currently?
For 30 years, they're a group. These aren't 3 random guys. The way that Ricky Smiley kept appearing at all of my auditions is because of Steven said he would tell anybody that, listen, they got a gang on that side. They know what it is. They know who the gang is. Why Earthquake not in movies? Because he's illiterate. He can't read. And they found that out when they gave him a show and put the cards in front of him. Like, all of these dudes are co-entwined and they share secrets. And this is the age of truth. And the truth doesn't need to be scared of the fact that people tell lies. Katt's on drugs. Where are the stories? Why is there no story of anybody who ever sold a drug to me, did a drug with me, was around me when I was inebriated? I got 5 daughters. I got 5 sons. Why?
That's another big thing. Like, same thing with Dave Chappelle. I'll make sure I wasn't either. Same thing with Dave Chappelle. Like, whenever the industry really wanted him to, like, be done with him, he just disappeared.
Well, everybody started saying crazy stuff about him first.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff about him. Then they disappeared. I was about to say disappeared with like a trail of like smearing behind him. So it's like I forget when he started not being like a big talk. I think around maybe 2009, 2008 or 9. I think like not many people talked about him, and I don't know who it was or where it was from, but they talked about kind of like Dave Chappelle was like, oh, he's on crack and he's gone. Like Dave Chappelle was in Africa doing crack or whatever, just like on his deathbed. I'm like, yeah. So all of it's the same, man. It's like they just try to delete you. That was like the old way of being canceled. You know, before social media became big and hype. It's like they just smeared you across like BT and MTV and Washington Post and all that, instead of just on socials and tubers talking shit about him. But you haven't heard of him at all? Or you haven't seen any of his sketches or stand-ups?
Not in a long time, I guess.
Yeah, he was in a couple movies. All of them were like black focused too. So, But yeah, let's get on.
Why would we tell these ridiculous stories? Because it's competition. You feel like, well, why comedy guys can't just get along?
Yes.
Why didn't you get along with the other teams you were competing against? If you're a Denver Bronco, why you don't get along with the Cowboys? Something wrong with you?
But I don't disagree. I don't dislike all the Cowboys. Cat, damn, you like this?
No, that's not.
Okay, what comedians do you like?
Did you play against the team?
Yes.
I've taken 46 comedians with me on the road. 46.
Okay.
I'm not the comedian you can give that to. I only put on comedians that are funnier than me. Anybody that ever told you differently was a fat Faison liar. There's nobody like me in the business.
Faison just caught it straight.
Faison said that getting a Netflix special is easy. I have 12 specials. Guess how many Faison got? 0.
So
why is he allowed to have conversations about real stand-up people? We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all. As a journalist. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I don't harbor any resentment to any of these entities because I can't be jealous. I've never seen them have anything that I ever wanted. If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview. Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it.
Videos out on the channel as far as the TD Jakes scandal. He talked about that too. Like it's all coming out now.
The wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen.
Gee. I kind of get on there.
Right.
He thirsty.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go.
Bro, he's like, man, I'm gonna be canceled after this.
Because the people want to know why would he get blackballed?
Yeah,
because in 30 years I've done nothing but collect.
So what do you think about what he said thus far?
I don't know. I'm trying to watch.
It's starting getting interesting, huh? It's starting getting relevant as hell. But yeah, it's a whole lot. I gotta pause and we gotta discuss it every now and again so we don't get sniped by the powers that be. But yeah, he talked about that. The guy, Nino Brown, the guy that we were watching the other day to do that video or did a reaction to, like he has another video of not of his son. The one that we watched was about his son. It was the initial claims about TD Jakes himself. We may end up having to watch that this evening if we got time. Just throw it on here. What you looking up?
Making a thing.
He making a thing. He making a chart.
So many things I have to look up.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I'll be the source guy. That's me.
Yeah, why not? Just send me links or hell, you can share your screen.
I'm working on it. All right. I'll show you later.
Okay. We gonna get back into it.
Clean it up first.
Information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
you will tell it.
No, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that. I value that. I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it. They all know it. Why? Because you don't make me the villain. Not the guy that raises black children and ain't never done a hard drug in his life and don't have no stories of doing nobody dirty. And they'll just go out and they'll lie. The industry doesn't mess with Katt because he didn't show up for the studio. No studios have ever said that. Look at my IMDb. It will show you that no studio has ever lost money with me on the script. How? That's why I'm saying, that's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike, because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I designed the hair for Money Mike. I collaborated with the wardrobe department and made outfits to make sure that no one in America would be wearing what Money Mike was wearing. I told them to go get the Prowler. I then told them to paint it purple. I told them don't have an actor playing a pimp. We could get an actual pimp, Archbishop Magic Don Juan to play. Like, I did far too much work for somebody to come years later and try to tag along just for their own self-aggrandizement.
Why didn't Cube set the record straight? Terry Crews could have set the record straight. Mike Epps could have set the record straight. Why none of them set the record straight?
That's what you were supposed to ask him when he told you those lies that
But I
no
didn't
one's
know it
ever
was a
heard.
lie.
Right, but he's telling you something no one's ever heard of. Nobody has ever heard, oh, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon was in a movie, and somebody said, y'all should switch roles. Like, this is a business.
But that's the thing, Katt. Normally when people will give you information, I'm thinking I'm hearing it for the first time, and they're giving information no one else knows or have ever heard. So I'm taking them at face value.
These are like, this is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married.
I forgot he said that. Yo, that's hilarious. He really don't like Steve Harvey, because Steve Harvey is supposed to be like the ringleader, I guess you could say, as far as all the craziness. And I didn't know. I forgot he said that about that. But he also gives relationship advice. So I guess whoever he's with, actually, I think he's going through a divorce right now. Yeah, I think he's going through a divorce right now. And he was given like a whole bunch of relationship advice. But yeah, nah. But Katt's cold, man. He said, man, that's what he said about the first wife. It's like, always had my back, and I couldn't be anything without her. And I'm like, nigga, which one? Her, them.
Somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made all lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A., he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies.
Yeah, he's calling out Kevin crazy. That's why Kevin Hart wants to sue him. Because I think he was watching a basketball game. They were doing a live basketball game, like a live show on ESPN. Kevin Hart was. They were just like sitting on the couch and stuff, and he was making like corny, terrible jokes about Katt Williams, talking about, you know, Cat Williams bought the Nets. You know, it's like he came through and dropped them off in the spaceship. This is corny jokes, but he came at Kevin's next. But that's a good point. It's like just a very like nobody knew this guy, and all of a sudden, right when Cat Williams was getting canceled, they just like injected him into Soul Plane. Is what he's talking about. Have you seen Soul Plane?
Nope.
It's you'll probably remember it. It's where Snoop Dogg was the pilot, and there was like a big Boeing 747 with rims and hydraulics. Like, you remember seeing that?
Never seen it.
Oh man, it's all right. It's there was a lot of big names in that as far as comedy. It was real funny. But here, let's keep going.
But Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Like, it's important in the checks and balances of the universe that liars not get to make complete narratives for themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with, and they don't with who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources, and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
Because Shannon Sharp got to be a different person than that other person.
Absolutely.
And he always was. That doesn't change when I change teams. That remains the same. That's how a legacy is built. So all of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency.
Yeah, one big thing was this was right before he got canceled. He actually had a stand-up, which we could probably watch. And it was of him going to a party. He wasn't for sure what was going on, but he just remembers walking into a bedroom that had big doorways, and he saw some activities in there that he didn't want to see. And he backed out slowly and said, I want to leave. And he
Will Smith in there?
I don't remember who he said it was, but I don't think he really said anything. But the thing is, that was like a big part of like the exposure, because that became a hubbub. And then I guess they got scared of him, so they wanted to discredit him by telling people that he's on crack and this and that. Yeah, so that's how I remember a decent amount of it.
What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Woo. Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get there.
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in, and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say.
Have you ever been on tour with any of these guys?
Every guy I mentioned to you is not funny out there in real life. So no. Faison's never done his own tour in 30 years. Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write.
I almost talked while I was muted, but he's 100% right. Like even like what's that show that Steve Harvey's on now?
Family Feud or something?
Family Feud, yeah. Like, have you ever seen like the videos of Family Feud?
Only the expressions.
Exactly. He doesn't say anything funny. It's just his reaction to the family doing dumb shit. He has nothing really funny to say that everybody's already thinking about in their head. There's nothing original about it. And I was like, it took me a minute after I saw this, he said that, and I was like, you know what? Besides just like real like dumb shit and like, you know, little rainbow stuff, you know, which is considered funny, like that's really what like comedy's become. You know, there's nothing really funny behind it. Truly sad, truly sad.
Ricky Smiley has been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that. Like, you got to be doing karaoke around the country to make that work.
Right.
And he is. But I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my 19th 100-city tour. I'm not going to have a conversation with these lazy bums that'll take a shortcut at any point. Yes, it's easier for you to juice than to get in the gym. But you don't get to bring that body in here talking crazy.
Talk about how good you look.
What? No, there's too many comics out there that are putting their life on the line to tell these jokes, man.
Okay. Let's get to your upbringing. We're going to circle back and we'll get some...
I want to protect him real quick, because you had said for the Kings of Comedy, it was in 2018, 2019, but did you mean 1999? Because it came out in 2000, so I just want to make sure.
No, I didn't. No. So what I meant to say was, remember, he said I couldn't do stand-up anymore. I had 7 TV shows. I said he didn't have any of those TV shows at the time.
I know you talking about Cedric.
Joke stealing from Cedric.
Yeah, Cedric.
Okay,
so you had said that 2018, 2019, but it came out in 2000, so I just want to make sure.
Okay, no. What comes out in 2000?
The original Kings of Comedy.
Right. I'm on BET's Comic View, and they're using this as the commercial in 1998. Okay. That's why I'm saying, yeah. So if I said the dates wrong, So
let's go back and clear that up.
Okay.
You said, I had Cedric on here, and I asked him about the joke stealing, and he said the timeline doesn't add up.
Correct.
To that point, you say.
Right. So he thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke.
Right.
And this joke is one of those jokes in comedy where you set it up and it takes a little longer to set it up, takes about 3 minutes, but then you're just hitting them with jokes after that because you don't have to set it up.
Right.
Mark Curry had already helped me work on this joke because I thought it was good because I was getting a standing ovation on it. He had me go back in the lab and help me craft it to be an even more powerful joke. So this is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke.
Okay.
1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship.
What?
Him and Steve had already apologized for me, so I gave him a pass
You gotta find that.
for a
You gotta
decade.
be-
Why would you sit here and be like, I saw Katt 30 times and Katt didn't do as I stand before you, Shannon. I would have bust Cedric's stomach. There was nothing that would have kept me from one of these in that patch right there. Like, are you kidding me? Why would you downplay me like that? Why did I give you a pass if you were just gonna lie? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, they're all a group. Cedric, Steve, Ricky, they've been a group. Everybody knows that. They've been aligned. And there are these alliances in comedy. And if you stand against them, then they sometimes have a problem. But we don't let that change the content, because that's all you know me for, is that I'm quite likely to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Can you believe we're this deep in?
All right. So they talked a bunch of stuff. Let me just go forward. What do you think? What do you think as far as like what Katt Williams is talking about, as far as like the industry, as far as different beefs in the background?
More of what we already know goes on in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Everyone blackmails each other so you can get some dirt, and then you get a pat on the back, and they can hold it over you forever. And I don't know. I didn't know Harvey Weinstein sucked wiener. That's interesting.
Man, freaky people gonna be freaking people, man. They're gonna get it where they can get it.
I guess that's worse though. What's worse, you sucking him or him sucking you?
I don't know. The one who doesn't like it as much. It's like, is it a
I don't know.
Lose win? You know, it's. I'm not good at that.
Well, him sucking you, that's kind of worse.
Worse for who though? You know, is it worse
the sucky?
The sucky? We say it like that? Bro, you may try to make this scientific.
No, it's just worse. I mean, you gotta put yourself in a mental place, and if you don't perform,
man, what if his mental place was just like butterflies in a field in a meadow?
Yeah, you look down and the penguin is going to town on you.
That's his happy place, man. He's in a deep meadow with deer prancing in the background. Meanwhile, he's like,
you could call prancing, I guess. That's crazy. It makes you wonder how many people went through that to get a part for something, and then
yo, he even called it out as far as like for the part. I forgot which one it was. For a certain part, he was like, you had to do this. You know, like bent over, touch your toes to like get this part. And he was like, nah, but now he looks at 3 black comedians and be like, what did you do to get that position? Like, what position were you in to get that position?
That's a joke by itself.
So it's crazy. That's why this video is like at almost 50 million views. Is he's coming out, clearing the air. A lot of people don't know what happened to Katt, like why he disappeared, how he disappeared, why he wants to beef with Kevin. He said Kevin's a plant. What do you think about that? We may go into Kevin Hart's background. Apparently he has a documentary.
The guy came out of nowhere for a while, and then I don't know.
Then he just being the biggest comedian in the world.
I don't know. He's not really an actor. Kind of like how The Rock's not really an actor, or Mark Wahlberg's not really an actor anymore. They just kind of play each other in the same. They play themselves in the same role over and over and over again. So it's like,
yeah. But
I don't know.
The Rock, you brought up Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson, he folded to the industry too, because look at what one of his movies were. Him in a tutu. The Tooth was it the Tooth?
Was it a football movie?
I think it was the Tooth Fairy.
Oh no!
You remember? Share the screen. Share the screen.
I'm pretty sure he was.
He's black enough. Put him in.
His dad is super black though. So yeah, his dad looks like Mr. T almost.
Yeah. Pull it up if you find it. But yeah, they ended up putting him in a dress. Had a whole movie about it. In a tutu, bro. It's like, how you going to make this massive meat man put on a tutu, bro, with a damn fairy wand. Are you serious? Like, that's the industry.
How do I do this? There.
Tooth
Ow.
fairy, yeah. There you go. Hey, I just went on like Google Images, but yeah, it's 2010.
I'll pull up the sources.
But check this. After that, like Dwayne in the movie industry, like pretty much took off because like 2008 or 9, I think he was still like wrestling full time. And I remember Batista. I think Batista, he's not black, so he I don't think he put on a dress, but Dwayne, he's black enough. They was like, yo, I need you to sprinkle some fairy dust on these cheeks. Tell you, man. Like, what does it say? Like, he stopped actually wrestling. Does it have like a date or a time?
Showed up in that 70s show, Star Trek Voyager, and then showed up
Scorpion King, yeah,
in The Mummy Returns. First movie.
Mummy Returns. But he was still like big wrestling.
It says while he was away somewhere right here.
Yeah, he just had small roles. Yeah, Fast 5, 11. Yeah, he has a star in Hollywood. Bro, you can't get a star unless you slurp some cack. Don't you know?
Probably.
It's like something been in your mouth.
What was that about? Walking Tall? Isn't that a movie?
Oh yeah. That was an old one.
2004.
04.
Surprised they don't mention that sooner.
Yeah.
Well,
so when did he actually stop? Departures in 04. Okay. So he was already all the way out. Dang, that's early. That's crazy. I think I was in middle school or something. But yeah. Heck yeah. Oh, Rato. Let's see. Boom. Easy transition. That's probably what we'll have to do. You bring up the research. And then we'll alternate.
Easy
day. All right, let's continue this craziness. We got a while to go, but it's interesting, huh?
Yeah, a little.
Cincinnati, Ohio, raised in Dayton, Ohio. What was Katt Williams' upbringing like? Your parents were Jehovah's Witness. You were a prodigy. You were brilliant. You talked to me that you got accepted to college at 7 years of age. You could read fluently at 3 years of age. So having that kind of knowledge, having that kind of prodigy, I mean.
Why are you looking like that? Why are you looking like that? Are you cackling?
7.
Why are you looking like that?
I got a fact check for that.
What you trying to look up?
I'm trying to look at when he got to college.
I don't think
I'm looking for his early life. Williams has stated that he learned to read at 3 years old and has been communicating in multiple languages, including French and Creole. I have no idea what that is.
Creole.
He emancipated himself from his parents at age 13.
Yeah, he ran away.
Oh.
Yeah, he talks about it. That's why they're going into like his early beginnings. But yeah, let's keep going with it.
It doesn't say anything about college though.
No, I think he even says that he didn't go to college. He didn't go to college.
I guess was it a Jehovah's Witness college?
Bro, I don't know.
Technicality.
See, this is one of the parts where I'm like, you learn how to read at 3. It's like, can you speak fluently at 3? I don't know.
You can read by 3.
I don't know. It's like how well though? I don't know. At 3, I don't know.
There's some kids, man. You just it depends on how much. It's about an environment. Like if you're Asian and you roll the dice. And your dad's like, why no read yet? Why no thesis? It's like, okay, you're probably going to read earlier than most kids, but should it be that way? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, true. But yeah, so that I couldn't put my finger on that as far as like that part, but he gonna go deeper. It's gonna get kind of crazy.
With it, what was your upbringing? How was it? How was life as Katt Williams Crunk coming up?
I was often confused because I knew things and I wasn't sure how I knew them. I knew things that I felt like I don't have a reason that I know this, but I love to read. I was voracious because they told me when I was young that knowledge was powerful. That knowledge was power, and I had studied powerful people, and I really believed that. I immediately, my next project was to read the whole encyclopedia set. So when you're like 6, 7 years old, you read the whole encyclopedia set, you think you're one of the smartest people in the world,
right,
only to get out in the world and find out you don't know anything, you know? So it was a confusing time, but yeah, I had a childhood. I was grown, but I at 5 years old, I was in front of 10,000 people giving a performance with a full suit and tie on. You know what I mean? So yeah. It came full circle for my life. I knew that the applause and the giving of information and laughs and truth to people somehow benefited them and also benefited you. And yeah, so when they would ask me what I wanted to be, everything that I would say that I wanted to be was something that didn't exist. And they would never give me credit for it because I needed to say a doctor or a lawyer, but that's not what I wanted to be.
So your parents weren't as supportive as you would have hoped because you were wanting to be things when you got older that they had no knowledge of, or it didn't exist at the time?
No, it wasn't that. It was, I'm saying I'm almost 100 years old right now, but if we go outside right now, I can run a 4.340 or sub. I can do a 4.16 if I'm.
Oh, there's Jimmy John's across the street. We can order a sub.
But
oh, you've been on the submarine. That what you sub?
So back then it was even greater. So you got this guy that all the coaches want to play.
Man, Katt, don't do that.
Hold on, because I'm 5'5" in the 5th grade. I've been this high my whole life. Like there was a portion of school where I was one of the big dudes. Like as soon as everybody caught their growth spurt, I was out of there. But I'm saying I was a competitive individual. My father was an athlete.
I can see that.
Like no, I've been 145 pounds my whole career. That's why I never bothered when they said, your Katt's on drugs. I knew, how you gonna prove that? My body is a temple.
I've been the same size since I was 10.
Like, what do you? Yeah, like I haven't changed off this pivot foot. This has always been who I was before stand up or anything. But it was an interesting childhood. I appreciate my parents, even though I couldn't live within the religious frameworks of what they had set up. But that was more not wanting to live a double life and not want to embarrass my family. You know what I mean?
Because I read where a form of punishment for you is that they would take books because you mentioned you were such a voracious reader. And a form of punishment was when they would take the books for them because you could read fluently. You told me how at like 3 or 4 years old, you could read, not just a little child's book, but you could read.
Well, I'm saying when we go to Haiti to do missionary work, understand that my mother and my father, nobody that's there with us speaks French. And it speaks Creole and reads French. So I'm in charge of everything from the housing to the cars to the gardener. Like I'm saying, so I'm not just reading, I'm reading in multiple languages. Like
how old are you?
I'm probably reading 3,000 books a year. From the time that I'm 8 years old to the time that I'm 12.
Calculate that for me.
3,000 books.
3,000?
I want to believe this guy, but now he's getting
He's kind of going off the little bit.
3,000 books a year.
That would be 10 books a day almost.
3,000 divided by 365. He's reading eight books a day.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm on your side on the Hollywood stuff, but I don't know.
He's getting kind of crazy right
He knows
now.
how to read. He doesn't know how to math.
No, math ain't mathing, bro.
Or is he counting like super short novels and pamphlets?
Pamphlets? Yo, actually? Maybe.
Like if you're like three, you can count a pamphlet. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's like you're reading the back of the gum box and stuff.
3,000 pamphlets, 8 pamphlets a day. That's ambitious for a kid, but I don't know if you read 3,000 books a year.
I don't know. It's parchment. I've read 3,000 pieces of parchment this year. Yeah, that's close. That's when he started like falling off of me too. When he was like they're talking about the background, like being able to read at 3 years old, had new French and French fluently.
No way. He
could also read.
He didn't read 3,000 books.
that's where it gets you. 3,000 books, huh?
I picked up Goodreads.com and they had some kind of leaderboard, and Linda read 241 books in 2020.
For the year though, not for the
2020. No, not in a month. I'm looking at leaderboards now.
Hey man,
3,000 books.
Scroll and see if Katt's on there, man. Scroll. Katt's on there somewhere. He probably got an alias. On there. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like he drank a lot, but yeah, I think he pregame. No, we gonna get back into it while you look at leaderboards.
No fiction books at all. I'm only reading nonfiction.
You could drive. At 12, you received a full scholarship to the National Science Academy in Dayton, Ohio, but you failed, so you would become ineligible. Why didn't you want to take that opportunity?
I didn't see it as an opportunity. When I got in there, all the students were wearing lab coats, and it seemed very confined and restricted, and nobody seemed like they were having fun. It just seemed like everybody was smart. I didn't want that. That wasn't what I was signing up for at all. And plus, I thought that Jesus was my big homie. So you know how you get a story about a dude joined the gang and you get a big homie, right? Mm-hmm. Like at this particular point in my life, my thought is that the Bible is the greatest book that's ever been written.
Okay.
That it houses the truth, and that it gives you this story of Jesus, and that I'm supposed to be like him.
Okay.
So it's already in my head that as soon as I get 13, I'm leaving.
You at 13, you don't only like, okay, Mom, I'm moving out. You moved from Ohio to Florida on your own. You weren't afraid. I mean, you like, did you?
Hold on.
So what were you going to do when you got to Florida?
Don't say I wasn't afraid. There's no such thing as a human being of not being afraid.
Okay.
There are certain human beings that understand that being afraid in no way stops you from doing what you got to do.
Okay.
So I was afraid, but I couldn't be that afraid because I knew what had happened with Jesus. I knew how it worked out. I knew that I wasn't in the wrong with how I was feeling, and I knew that I didn't have any bad intentions in it.
Right.
So I trusted God that it would work out.
Why Florida?
Because if you're raised in Ohio, the one thing on your list is, I'm gonna get away from snow, and I'm gonna get as far. I want to go. Tell me the place. I literally went to a truck stop and I asked all the truck drivers where they was going, and there was one guy going to California and there was one guy going to Florida, and they told me how long it was gonna take, and so that's why I ended up in Miami. Because
how'd you get there? You caught a bus?
No, I just told you. I was at the truck stop.
So you hitchhiked?
I didn't hitchhike. I got in the back of the dude's 18-wheeler, me and my Rottweiler puppy and my suitcase. Yeah, because I probably had $2,500 on me, like I was shoveling snow and cutting grass. Like I always had pockets full of money.
When did you make the decision that you were going to leave Ohio and go somewhere? And it ended up being Florida. So, but when did you know that you were leaving Dayton, Ohio, going to Florida?
In my father and I's last interaction, somebody could have not made it. And we both understood that was all bad.
What was the disagreement about?
If you say that my family is very religious, just say I'm not. So anything that I'm going to do is going to fall out of the guidelines.
Right.
But I'm not going to let you tell me what I'm going to be, even, especially if what you're saying is wrong. I can't condone wrong. And if I find out that something is wrong and I tell you it's wrong and you don't back me, that's what it is. Even
as a young child, you were willing to tell your parents that some of the things that you're saying doesn't coincide with what I've been reading in the Bible.
No, very simply. Don't try to disfellowship me for sexual acts and I'm a virgin. Sorry, God don't make mistakes. You don't get 2 times to fuck me over. What do you mean you went to God and he told you I was guilty? You just lied on God. So long. That's it. There's no conversation. Deuces. That's what it was.
That's when you made the decision. After that conversation right there, you say, "No, I can't live under this roof."
It wasn't a conversation. It was an altercation. In the altercation, I love my father. My father loved me. But we are 2 men at it. That it'll never be the same again. You can't sleep comfortably around me. And I can't sleep comfortably around you.
How similar are you to your father?
I don't know. He's a great man. I'm saying
because it seems like y'all butted heads.
Right, but I'm saying that generally happens with a father-son dynamic. It was just that religious relationships are always difficult in families. They always are.
Before it got to the point, because the dynamic, he's father, your son. Before that dynamic and you step up on his level and you challenge him, you felt it was best for you to leave.
No. I'm not being challenged. I'm being beat to death.
Oh, he was abusive.
I didn't say that. I said we were in an altercation.
Oh, I see what you did there. I saw what you did there, Katt.
Yeah.
I saw what you did. You was in an altercation. You didn't say you lost. You said you was in an altercation.
I in no way gave you the impression that I won anything. I'm the one leaving. I'm out of bounds. This is his house.
Right.
Yeah. So as long as I'm going to be under his roof, there are certain things that I'm going to have to do.
Right.
And the only way that's going to change is either this or that. And I'm saying I had 2 younger brothers. Like I'm not an unreasonable person. Like I don't have any mental issues whatsoever, despite what they lead people to believe. You know, I make pretty good decisions.
Were you not?
All right. A lot of stuff about his childhood is from Dayton, Ohio. It was. Then, like what you read, he was emancipated at 13 and went through truck stops and I guess daisy chained from where he was all the way to Miami, Florida.
Yep.
The big thing that had my brain rattling was the dispute, because he talked about sexual acts. He talked about sexual acts being the thing, and that had me kind of weirded out. Like, what kind of sexual acts, or sexual acts with who, or he didn't go into that. And you talking about being very religious? Is it like, so in my head, I'm like, yo, was he's not going to say it, but was he like blowing the flute or, or what, did you get that vibe or had a thought about it?
No, it just almost sounds like he had a girlfriend to me, but that's what it
Usually,
sounded
man,
like to me.
for a 13-year-old, I don't know. It's like usually they're gonna want to stick around. They're gonna want to stick around for the girlfriend at least. But you're talking about you wanted to move clear across the country, So I don't know. Either there's, and I think he said that they lied on him or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
So yeah. So it was a jungle. That's one thing I wish Shay went into was like more into that. The only thing he asked was what was the argument about, but he didn't dig deeper into it.
Yeah. It sounds like he was accused of something, but either way, I don't know.
Yeah, he should. Like, what was the accusation specifically?
Oh.
That's
And then
what
he
people.
said he doesn't really have mental problems, but he's had a few run-ins.
Yeah. It's like as far as that, I'm not even sure how. We got to do some research as far as that. Like, was he batshit? I need to see.
Arrested.
Oh, yeah.
Arrested.
Oh, you have his rap sheet?
I'm just looking at it on here.
Looking at it. Let me see. Legal issues. Connection with.
No, a stolen gun was found in his briefcase. That's not a good start. Arrested for working, accused of stealing $3,500.
Yeah. Just in Seattle, dispute South Lake neighborhood is arrest after he
Alleged assault on a tractor driver.
Damn.
Arrested of suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah, the LA one in 2012.
Yeah, man. I don't know what to think now.
Yeah. What is you saying his credibility's out the window because of his record?
Not all of it, but it doesn't help when he says he doesn't have mental problems, but he's got a I have to scroll on his sheet. That's kind of an issue for me.
You had to scroll. The fact you had to scroll, like there were just footnotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta find them footnotes. Yeah, I feel that.
Can I help you?
I feel that.
Can I help you?
What? Get that cat off the. What that cat doing?
He's looking for attention.
Oh no! You're like, man, you're letting all these people steal my energies.
There you go.
All right, let's get back in.
So how was their relationship with your father? Were you not afraid to leave them?
Well, I asked because it went all the way to the actual department, so it was actually going to be something. And when I asked them if they could just make sure that my brothers didn't get separated and what have you, they said they couldn't make those type of guarantees, that they weren't really sure what would happen if this went down. And so part of leaving was the hope that it would be okay for them, because none of them experienced what I experienced. I'm saying I'm the oldest. It's a lot riding on me. I'm supposed to at least religiously hold down the family's name at this household. Right. You know what I mean?
How much older are you than the baby and the knee baby?
Like a lot older. Like if I'm, I
12, 13.
Yeah, they're 5 and in Pampers.
Wow. You go to Florida. You tell the story. I've heard you were homeless, and somebody else told the story, said they were homeless, and you said they hijacked your story. Now I don't.
At 13, I shouldn't have to tell you I'm homeless. I'm in Miami, Florida. I have no family members in Florida. I couldn't buy a house if I wanted to. I couldn't get an apartment if I wanted to. I don't have a credit history. Like, This is not a stretch for me to say that I'm homeless. I'm living in a park in Coconut Grove. The park still exists to this day. For 8 hours a day, I would get up and go to the library and study for 8 hours a day to increase my education. And then I would leave out of there and go to the marina and steal car radios and make $2,000 almost daily. Like, I had a routine.
So you really could have played that Santa old thief and Santa Claus. You could have played it.
No, the Santa Claus wasn't a thief. The Santa Claus, you can't tell me. I read the script. Ricky Smiley told you he didn't read the script. The Santa Claus was a crackhead. He just had that outfit on. That's what I couldn't have played.
Okay.
Like I couldn't have played the black guy that got raped in the bathroom.
Right. So at any point in time, did you like, man, I made a mistake, man. I should have stayed my butt in Ohio, man, because this ain't what I signed up for.
I didn't experience anything once I left home that I hadn't signed up for. If anything, it saved my life. Me being homeless for that small period of time allowed me to see all of the people that were in that situation and to see that these were lawyers and doctors and teachers, and that these people were white and black and Asian and Indian. And the only thing that all of these homeless people had in common was they made a bad decision and aligned themselves with drugs. And I interviewed them all. What drug? What? And guess what, Shannon? Nobody had a great story. Nobody had a great story of what meth had done for them, what crack had done for them, what cocaine had done for them, what heroin had done for them, what speed had done for them. Nobody had them stories. Everybody's story was, I had my life together. And then I decided to do this dumb thing. And I lost my wife, I lost my house, I lost my cars, I lost my reputation, and I'm now out here sucking penis in the woods. What? Talk about scared straight. You ain't got to worry about me. If it ain't weed or nicotine, you won't see me touching it. I don't want no parts. I done seen what these things can do to people. Anything that take over your free will is the devil itself.
Have you ever thought about what your life would have been had you stayed in Dayton, Ohio?
No, that's like asking somebody that's in the NBA for 14 years, like, what would have happened if you didn't come to the NBA? Oh, I shudder to think. I thought it was what I was made for. I thought it was what I was built for. Anybody that knows me will tell you that when they first met Katt Williams, when I was Cat in the Hat, and they tell these stories about how he changed his name. Look, the truth of the matter is Disney sued me. Yeah, I was Cat in the Hat. They sent me a cease and desist letter, and I'm not even making $25,000 a year. And the mega company Disney has sent me a cease and desist telling me I can't use any variations of that name. Fine, I'm Katt Williams. That's all that happened. I have been this same product the entire time. They will tell you when they first saw me doing stand-up, I was just like this. This is what I bring. This is my style.
When did you know were you always funny? Did you always want to be a comedian? Did you stumble on a comedianship?
No, I loved what they did. And so I studied them, all of them. I studied all of the white comedians because I wanted to know, why is Monty Python funny? Why is Don not so talented? I wanted to know, what is George Carlin's thing? Like, so I studied all of the comedy masters regardless of the field because I loved to laugh. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that these people were making a great living at doing this. I thought this is just what they did. They tell jokes. They're funny people, but I loved the craft. And that's why when I got into the craft, I thought it was my obligation to make sure that I kept writing new material so much that it forced these comedians to stop doing the set they've been doing for 10 years and keep writing some new stuff. And I knew that if I could get that to take on, that most of these bums would have to just quit comedy because they can't keep up. They're not going to keep writing an hour worth of material.
Right.
I've written an hour worth of material 19 times. They're not going to do it. Why? Because they're not creative writers. They want to get somebody else and have them write it and put it together.
So if I'm listening to you correct me if I'm wrong. I think the best thing that ever happened was the internet, because now they have to. Because normally, like you said, you could do a set and you do that set in Kansas City. People ain't heard it in San Francisco. People ain't heard it in Miami. They ain't heard it in Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, so forth and so on. Now you do a set, it's on the internet. Somebody heard it. So you can't do a set and make it last 3 months, 4 months.
Well, it doesn't allow the regular comic the ability to grow is the real problem. Like, the part of comedy is me taking these jokes in January, and by March, I've begun to craft this joke.
Okay.
It's not as simple as it was. When I wrote it, it was just da-da-da-da-da. But now it has the complexities of the fact that I'm having to deliver this to an East Coast audience, a down South audience, a Midwest audience, a Utah audience, a Colorado audience. And so it begins to take on a different complexion because you're having to deliver it to different people.
Okay.
And so this is what sharpens your joke. You then take those sharpened jokes and make a special. Not you just randomly take some. Mm-hmm. So it's a process. You don't allow them to process if the first time the guy did the joke, now that's his joke and the joke is everywhere. That just sets it up for people to steal.
So how many times must you tell a joke before you master it?
How many times have you had to sleep with a woman before you're done with her? That's not fair. If it's great, never. if it ceases to have usefulness, so it has been spoken. Right.
I read that you was raised in Florida. You had some help, some ladies of the night.
No.
That's not true.
No, that whole story doesn't take place in Florida. That story takes place in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So after I'm in Florida, I then join, I try to join the Marine Corps and they won't accept me because I'm too young, and I've lied and told them I'm 16 and my family's moving down and I don't have my ID, but it's coming. And so they let me go to the boot camp. That's not gonna work now. Okay, so I've learned that lesson. Right. So then I get this job selling stuff door to door. Across the country. And so I've been to all 50 states. Again, I'm 14 years old. So I did that. While I'm doing that, one of the places I'm at, I'm in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And I've decided I'm going to stay here because of meeting these ladies that you're talking about and that situation. I don't know at the time why that's important in my life or why it's something I should be doing or any of that. But now later on, it certainly helps me in formulating Money Mike for Friday After Next.
Right.
And a pimp named Slickback for the Boondocks.
Oklahoma, so San Francisco, Oklahoma, Sacramento. From Florida, you moved to the West Coast. So you're traveling. When did you set up shop on the West Coast? How old were you then?
So I guess I'm 18 or younger, and I once I have a child, I realized that I can't. It's a lot of things that I could use to make money that now is a no-go. So anything with street aspirations that I might have thought about pursuing or been good at, I now am a single parent and I gotta redo this thing. So I need comedy to really work out for me. Right. And me and God go into extreme conversation where I'm explaining to him that I'm a crash out dummy if he don't send me a lifeline. Like, I need something I can hold on to. Before I had left Florida, I did stand up one time because we was trying to get in the club. I didn't have ID. So I said I was a comedian. They ended up having me do 5 minutes. But I kept that in my head that I had done that. When we get to Oklahoma, they're having a competition for stand up, and if you win, you get to go out on the road with Jeff Foxworthy and Dan Whitney, who is Larry the Cable Guy, and Richard Jenny, and these great comics. You get to open for them. And once I did that, I realized, okay, as a comedian, I'm like way behind schedule. I done started this too late. All the funny guys are already funny and known names. Like, how am I going to progress? So I realized that I do better with a white audience than I do with a black audience. And I'm not sure why that's occurring, but the white audience likes me more. That's interesting. So when I moved to Sacramento, it's because Sacramento has a white and a black audience almost 50-50. That's almost the makeup of Sacramento. So I lived in Sacramento for 2 years until I get to the point where I am equally as funny if the room is black as I am if the room is white. That's not enough. Now I need to be one of the good ones when it comes to black comics. So now I have to move to Oakland, and that's what lands me in Oakland for 3 years. Once I have dominated male black comedy in Oakland to my liking, now I'm prepared to go to Los Angeles now. Now I know you can't throw me any curveballs. If it's a white audience, if it's a black audience, no matter what they are, I'm prepared to deal with all of the audiences.
Do you write jokes according to the audience that you're going to be in front of, or is your joke universal?
Well, in the beginning, part of my framework is that I'm tailoring every show to this audience. And that's how I was able to show my range and show that I was better than my competitors, is that I'm Katt Williams, but I was still doing clean comedy. So I was still going to churches and doing 45 minutes of stand-up at the church with no curse words, no sex, drug material, no none of that, just straight stand-up. And then I was doing everything else. And at
the regular club.
Yeah, that was the range, is that when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So that's how I started. But as you begin to get better, you begin to be able to speak to your entire fan base. And that's really what's been helpful, is that I've been having the same conversation with my fan base for 12 comedy specials.
Is that what set Katt Williams apart, is your range? Is that you can do a comedy, do 45 minutes in the church. I can go to a comedy club in front of 250, or I can go into an arena with 15,000. That's range, because everybody can't do that, Katt.
Well, if that's what range is called, then yeah, it's range. But I like the people I'm talking to. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like it can't be condescending, because I'm talking to my white male friend when I'm telling that white joke. When I'm talking about this joke about this black lady, I know that black lady. That's who I'm talking to. I'm speaking to this fan base that I've been speaking to from the beginning. I already told them what I was on when I first came in. I told them they was gonna come after me. They was gonna cancel me. They was gonna say terrible things about me and try to mess my life up. I said that coming into stand up. I'm saying it in my
So you knew it was going to be.
It has to be. I know I'm going into the belly of the beast. How could I be naive? I know that I'm going into Satan's playground, but I'm...
Okay. It was a lot. We let it run for a minute, but yeah, he talked about, I don't know, as far as him going around, you heard that stuff about the Marine Corps?
Yeah.
I don't know how it was back in the 90s, but I don't think they would even let him go that far as send him off if they didn't have any paperwork.
Well, it depends. Some recruiters are miracle workers.
They'll fudge the numbers.
Well, I've met some people that should never have made it as far as they did. That's for sure.
Oh no!
No, man. There's remember we had this one guy. It was during a. You were in.
What was that?
I said, you were in. You know how it was. They
Yeah,
give you
yeah,
all
there's-
these trainings, and it's like, don't do this, don't do that. And they gave us one on STDs while I was working in the kitchens. And it's like, this is how sexual health works. This one guy, he is like, CS1, if you get an STD
yes.
at the bottom of your ball sack, can it go to the top?
Oh no!
CS1, he's a cook. He's like, you know what? You go up to medical, you talk to them. I have no idea. It was the most special thing I've ever heard.
Oh
That's
my
why I was like,
God.
that guy could rap. He could put some bars together,
He
though.
could. Oh man.
Yeah, I think he was on the spectrum. I don't say that to be mean. Like, everybody's got their points in different places. I'm definitely probably
Yeah.
on it, but that guy, yeah.
Yes. Like, if you get an infection, would it spread? It's like, I don't know, bro.
Can it go
Like,
from here to here?
talk to medical. It's like,
Go to
as long as it doesn't like go into the balls, it's okay, right? Like, I don't know, man. Is your dick glowing? Like, oh man.
You know, they got me looking at the Boondocks.
Yeah, pimp named Slipback.
Special.
You know him. Out of everybody, like, you know him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's why like people know him. Like, he's been in a bunch of stuff and it's iconic. But they just say, like Dave Chappelle literally just did him dirty because he didn't want to fold and put on a skirt. You know? So yeah, that's the industry's ass. Industry's ass. And it'll be that way. Now Katt, he said a lot of sussy stuff as far as just like his information. I'm like, all right, help me. You saying you could read at 3 years old? You saying that what was it? That at 7 years of age he was getting contacts from different universities. Yeah, like at 7? It's like, what?
If your
I don't
family
know.
has some crazy connections, maybe
Maybe
3,000 books a year. I don't believe it.
3,000. Was it 3? Yeah, it was 3. Yeah, 3,000 books a year. I'm like, that's either the cognac talking, or he had a lot of pregame before he actually sat down.
Guess, man.
Yeah. But yeah, we can keep going, or we can stop it here and like chop it up for a different stream.
We probably chop. Chopping would be fun.
Chop. And we can chop. This is part 1 of the Shay and Katt reaction / discussion. We talked about a lot of stuff as far as weirdo shit in black Hollywood. We're gonna talk about it, man. The videos we already put out, the TD Jake stuff, we may end up doing a follow-up to see what's up with that. We're gonna look at some comparisons as far as Katt saying that Cedric the Entertainer took his jokes. We gonna do a comparison. But yeah, we gonna be doing stuff. Comment below, like, share, all the things, what you want to see, what you want us to react to. If you have information, let us know.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a Discord.
Send us some links.
Yeah, we want them links.
Give me some funny stuff.
We want them links. All that, bro. Like, do you remember the email that you made? Put that in the ticker. We need to put that in the description.
The email.
Yeah, we gonna set that up for next time. We gonna figure out a way for us to get like some comments, and if personal life, you know, your girlfriend, you know, got caught sucking your dad off in the bathroom, man. We want to know, you know, what was his facial expression? Was it like pure horror, or was he like? I just want to know, man. I just want to know. I want to know what the community's feeling. But yeah, like the video, share all the things. Original video to the interview is in the description. Took care of that. But we holla.
Well, bye-bye.